as Michael Cohen is to take the stand, folks. We have several of Trump's allies and friends actually showing up at the courthouse. My question is, what took them so long? Why have none of the Republican representatives, including the ones that want to be vice president, how come they haven't showed up yet to support Trump in his many trials and tribulations involving these 91 cases? Truth be known, I figured it was just a matter of time that some of these folks would start doing more than just squawking about two-tier justice system and would actually try to do some things to try to help Trump. Thought maybe Mike Johnson would try to defund Jack Smith, but never going to happen. So we see where he's at on the deal. But at any rate, J.D. Vance, a couple of senators, Tommy Tuberville, right directly behind him as well, and Eric Trump, one of Trump's sons, showed up today to just show their support for Trump and come out and do a press conference, just like Trump does before and after the trial of the day. Now, the other day, Trump was reading a bunch of transcripts after he came out of the courtroom, other people's opinions, Jonathan Turley, Alan Dershowitz, Leo Terrell, several different legal analysts, what I would call legal scholars, and just quoting what they said or what they had written page for page. He did that a couple of times, and I was wondering, okay, well, this may be a pretty good tactic to at least let people know it's more than just your opinion that you're innocent. There's other people that agree with you that you're innocent. But today, it finally come to me, I guess, in a little bit of reading I was doing. The reason Trump is doing this again today, and I'll show you later in the clip, closer to the end, that is how Trump is getting around the gag order. Instead of Trump spouting from his own lips with about the judge, about what's going on, about the judge's family, about the corruption directly that he can point out, he instead takes quotes from other people, other people's opinions, like these legal scholars, like other politicians, like representatives from both sides of the tracks. And I think it's actually very effective, and I think it is gag proof order, or gag order proof, should I say. I didn't realize that's what was going on, but that seems to be his trick of the day that's keeping him from having to pay more fines. Reading what other people have said about this sham investigation, trial, and tribulation. Now, I got J.D. Vance. Got a few things to say here. We're going to play through it. Really great guy. He may be on Trump's short list for vice president. Whether he gets that position or not, I do believe that Trump needs to use people like J.D. Vance to the best of his ability. He is an America First patriot, and he's been doing a lot of really good things in his home state to try to fix this country. I can say the same things about Tommy Tuberville as well. He is a great senator as well. But I'm glad to see these folks finally stand up and show up. Maybe this will start a trend. Maybe more of these people that actually support Trump won't be afraid to come out and show up in court just to show their support. Glad to see it. It's about time. It's a little late, but it's about time. Now, we've got like less than 6 months, folks. It'll be time to vote. And a lot of things are going to happen between now and then. A lot of shifting, a lot of backsliding, a lot of fake and phony crap going on, people buddying up to Trump, and a lot of things where people are just trying to further their own positions. That always happens when there's a new job available. But let's go ahead and get into this clip. Really good stuff here. I'm glad they spoke up. I'm glad they showed up. And hats off to those Republicans. And shame on the rest of the Republican Party, like the Ted Cruzes and stuff, the Rand Pauls, the people that claim to really want justice in this country, the Jim Jordans, the James Comers, should be the Mike Johnsons, should be there supporting Trump as well. If the Republican Party showed up at that courthouse, I think the judge would really have to take a second look at what he's trying to do and realize he's fighting more than just Trump. He's fighting the American people with his bullshit litigation. All right, here we go.
That luckily the president's supporters should know that he's actually in great spirits despite the circumstances of this. He should be out on the campaign trail, but of course he's here with this trial. Let me say something about what I've witnessed so far in my couple hours in there. First of all, Michael Cohen is the prosecution's star witness. This guy is a convicted felon who admitted in his testimony that he secretly recorded his former employer, that he only did it once, allegedly, and that this was supposed to help Donald Trump. Does any reasonable, sensible person believe anything that Michael Cohen says? I don't think that they should, and I actually think that his testimony is going to hurt with any reasonable juror, and hopefully we have a few of those. I want to say two other things here very quickly. Number one, the thing that the president is prevented from saying, which is a disgrace, is that every single person involved in this prosecution is practically a Democratic political operative. The judge inside, his daughter is making millions of dollars running against Donald Trump, raising money for Donald Trump's political opponents. The number 3 person to the Department of Justice, Biden's Department of Justice, left to become a local prosecutor to go after Donald Trump. And of course, there's Alvin Bragg, a Soros-funded prosecutor who promised to go after Donald Trump and now is doing exactly that. Now, look, whether you love Donald Trump, whether you like Donald Trump, or whether you're a Democrat or don't care about politics, what's going on inside that courtroom is a threat to American democracy, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot have a country where you get to prosecute your political opponents instead of persuading voters. Joe Biden's entire strategy is to try to distract from inflation at home and war overseas with this sham trial. I just want to live in a reasonable country where we try to persuade voters in our politics. We don't try to throw our political opponents in jail. So this is a disgrace, and I wanted to be here to show some support for my friend. And speaking of my friend, here's Senator Tuberville.
Thank you. Thanks, Senator Vance. Yeah, Auburn fan here. I want to reiterate the same thing. First of all, I'm disappointed in the courtroom. I'm hearing Mr. Trump, he is former President Trump. Give him some respect. I mean, that's what that place is in there. It's no respect. Here's what I'm seeing, too. It is depressing. That courtroom is depressing. This is New York City, the icon of our country. And we got a courtroom that's the most depressing thing I've ever been in. Mental anguish is trying to be pushed on the Republican candidate for the President of the United States this year. That's all this is. He's been here a month. I am disappointed in looking at the supposedly American citizens in that courtroom, that the DA comes in and he acts like it is his Super Bowl. And I guess it is, to be noticed. But that's what's happening in this country. The Republican candidate for President of the United States is going through mental anguish in a courtroom that's very depressing, very depressing. I'm glad to stand by President Trump. I'm a friend of his. I'm here more as a friend than backing him as candidate as president. I'm sitting there listening to a guy on the stand that they had to get out of house arrest because he lied in another court to testify in this court. He's a convicted felon. I mean, this guy, he's up there giving an acting scene, and all of a sudden he comes out and says, oh, I have recorded President Trump on my telephone. This guy worked for President Trump. I mean, how can you be convinced by somebody that is a serial liar?
Has obviously not only perjured himself, but he has done some, as far as I can tell, some criminal acts in the way he has treated his client, Donald Trump, along the way. He definitely blew the whole client attorney privilege thing out the water when he recorded Trump secretly, and then he's going to use it against him in court. This guy's a rat bastard, is all I know what to say about that. I have no good word for Mr. Michael Cohen other than you can tell what kind of person he is. Cheap thug in a cheap suit. All right, folks, let's get back into it.
I mean, there should be no reason that anybody should listen to this guy. But at the end of the day, the Democrats are trying to beat President Trump in the jury box because they can't beat him at the ballot box.
That's right.
That's end of story. So I'm from the South. I'm here today to represent and to pay my respects to what President Trump is going through. It's a tough time for him, but you saw what happened this weekend. He's got more support than ever because what they're putting him through in that courtroom.
Folks, Trump is fired up. Here we go.
A very sad day for the country. It's sad for New York. I mean, New York, that a judge who's highly conflicted at a level that nobody's seen before can possibly, just think of it, and you should go out and check it out. But we have a corrupt judge, and we have a judge who's highly conflicted, and he's keeping me from campaigning. He's an appointed New York judge. He's appointed. You know who appointed him? Democrat politicians. He's appointed. He's a corrupt judge, and he's a conflicted judge, and he ought to let us go out and campaign and get rid of this scam. Every single legal analyst, even CNN, even MSDNC, they're saying there's no case here. Thank you very much.
Damn, even CNN is saying this is a nothing burger. That's what I want to hear, folks. I'm glad to see Trump is still getting out there and speaking before and after every case, and I'm really glad to see people like J.D. Vance and Tommy Tuberville step up and show their support for President as well by showing up in court. Wonder why this hasn't happened already. This needs to be the new trend. We need to get more politicians on board with not just saying they support Trump, but proving they support Trump, especially the ones that think they deserve a cabinet position. Over and out, folks. Have a good day.